Germany's relationship with boxing is strange. The country sits 6th in my all-time YouTuber viewer list with around 340,000 views, showcasing evident interest. Its fighters feature heavily in the European boxing champion lists, especially in the light heavyweight and heavyweight categories. German TV shows like Temple and Issy and Ossi glorify boxing, detailing protagonists overcoming struggles and the mafia through deploying their fast hands. The country has their own distinctive boxing style, characterized by a high guard while tucking their arms into their body. It's even been labeled as the Vegas of Europe, hosting popular boxing matches in sold-out arenas, particularly in the Klitschko brothers' reigns. Regardless, something is missing. A country of 85 million people, boasting strong sporting infrastructure and cutting-edge scientific knowledge, could prove a dangerous boxing force. In fact, it's fielded recent champions, notably Mahmoud Charr, who held the WBA regular champion belt before losing it to Pulev just days ago, and Noel McCallion as the WBC cruiserweight champ. Yet both these men were born outside of Germany, instead arriving at a younger age, maybe suggesting the sport is being kept alive by the migrant populace. There's clearly the boxing trainers and facilities to breed world-class talent. In this video, let's delve into Germany's rich boxing culture before exploring the catastrophic bout which nullified its societal impact. Leave a like for the algorithm, let's get into this. Sports participation rates in Germany entirely omit boxing. Fitness, football, gymnastics and tennis dominate proceedings. Foreign nationals inquiring about moving to Deutschland for further boxing opportunities are swiftly advised not to, with many deeming the UK, US and even Russia or Ukraine, maybe not right now, as more viable options. Now this builds a bleak picture, but historically participation has been insanely high. The late 1920s and early 30s saw boxing as perhaps Germany's most popular sport, with the country producing skilled pugilists like Hein Müller, Ernst Göring, Walter Neusel and of course Max Schmeling. Although I'll likely be demonetized, a game's a game I guess, Nazi Germany must be mentioned. The Hitler Youth, with its 3.5 million members, were regularly compelled to take up boxing. In his book Mein Kampf, Hitler praised boxing, saying there is no sport that cultivates a spirit of aggressiveness, that demands lightning-quick decisiveness, that develops the body to such steely smoothness like boxing. It was therefore embedded in German culture, explaining the 2 golds, 2 silvers and 1 bronze the German athletes secured at the 1936 Olympics. After the war, the nation sought to forget this dark chapter, putting boxing at risk of being buried with the sinister doctrine. Yet the lists of top German boxers actually indicate a resurgence. Light heavyweight Gustav Scholz fought in the late 1950s and early 60s, retiring with an insane record of 88 wins, 2 losses and 6 draws. Heavyweight Karl Mildenberger reigned over Europe in the 1960s, whilst bowing out in the 12th against a little-known boxer named Muhammad Ali. Meanwhile, over in East Germany, Manfred Volker won the welterweight Olympic gold in 1968. In the modern day, I regularly link poverty with the resilience of boxers. A person from a more affluent background will unlikely have the drive and willingness to be smacked in the face to make it to the top and secure riches. Germany is the 3rd largest economy in the world, behind the US and China, with 80% of Germans classifying themselves as belonging to the middle class. This has likely been highly detrimental to boxing, with people opting to do more safe and less painful professions. Many of Germany's better boxers appeared in the late 80s and early 1990s. The most notable was Henry Maske, who became the IBF light heavyweight champion in 1993, having won the gold medal at the 1988 Olympics in Seoul. Sven Ottker is also noteworthy, claiming the IBF crown in 1998 with a split decision win over Charles Brewer. But both these men were born and moulded out of very tough circumstances. Henry Maske grew up in 1970s East Germany, an incredibly impoverished state with terrible living conditions, and Oetker came from a poor working class neighborhood in Spandau, Berlin. Maske was credited with revitalizing the boxing boom in Germany, often being referred to as the German Michael Jordan in his homeland. Maske would have 12 world title fights between 1993 and 1996, averaging 17.8 million viewers with a peak at 23 million. Around this time, the German fans attending matches were incredibly intense and fanatic, evidenced by the rioting after Germany's Axel Scholz lost via a decision to Franz Botha. So with this loyal fan base and a cult hero in the form of Maske, you'd be forgiven for thinking a line of future German boxers was about to dominate in a number of weight categories in the following years. Initially, the signs seemed promising. Fighting throughout the 2000s and 2010s, Felix held multiple world championships at middleweight and super middleweight, while Marco Huck made 13 consecutive defenses of the WBO cruiserweight title. Armenian-born Arthur Abraham claimed the IBF middleweight title in 2005, whilst German southpaw Jürgen Bremer had won both super middleweight and light heavyweight belts throughout the 2000s, with the Ukrainian Klitschko brothers added to the German mix and dominating the heavyweight category. The start of the 21st century proved to be very fruitful. Perhaps Maske's influence was undeniable, but this is where the world title runs began to dry up. It seems since Klitschko's loss to Tyson Fury in November 2015, the stuffing was heavily knocked out of German boxing. Not only at the senior level, but the production of high quality boxing talent was beginning to hit snags. Germany's win at the 2014 World Cup, for God's sake, coupled with its professional football league, the Bundesliga's statement that 36 clubs were spending over €1 billion on developing, operating and expanding their academies, meant a new generation were emerging, one which sought after footballing glory and not boxing. Yet I personally believe this societal shift away from the sweet science was greatly cemented by an ensuing tragic event. On November the 18th, 2016, Germany's Eduard Gutknecht lost convincingly to Britain's George Groves in London. What happened next was horrible. Gutknecht would fall into a coma after the fight, remaining in it for 5 whole weeks. When he awoke, Gutknecht was unable to walk or talk, having suffered multiple strokes. Over 8 years on, and the German boxer is only able to walk a few steps unaided, and struggles greatly with daily tasks. Although hard to find direct evidence, partly because I can't speak German, I'm convinced this ordeal both shocked and scared much of the German population. Coming at a time when sinister truths about CTE were surfacing, this made football look like a far more attractive career path, while simultaneously killing Germany's boxing momentum. In the last few years, the German boxing picture has looked a bit bleak. The country has had a few European Boxing Union champions, including Dominik Boisel, Stefan Hartl and Robin Krasniqi, but the only well-known boxer of note, in my mind at least, is Agit Kabayel, a German heavyweight with real potential. His recent wins against Makhmudov and Frank Sanchez are clear warning signs to the rest of the division, and it'll be interesting to see how he does against the veteran Zhilei Zhang in Saudi Arabia in February. I sadly think it might be a stage too far for him, though at the age of 32 and holding various belts, this could be an ideal opportunity for him to put German boxing back onto the map. I also watched a bit of bronze medalist Nellie Raman Tiafack in the Paris Olympics and feel he also has potential, though he is yet to turn pro. Fortunately, Germany is home to Regina Halmich, one of the most successful female boxers of all time, who has helped to popularise the sport amongst many women in Germany to some degree. So there is perhaps a slither of optimism. But now I want to hear what you guys think. Why has Germany declined as a boxing nation? Are there any further factors I've missed here? I'm especially interested to hear from my German viewers, who I'm sure are far more attuned to the developments and trends underpinning this decline. Please let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoy this sort of content, please let me know by leaving a like and subscribing. Ich möchte ein Like und Subscribe bitte. Bit of German there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. Thank you for watching. More content on its way. Cheers and auf Wiedersehen.